I was a devil worshiper. I was the third ranked devil worshiper in New York City. I ran regions. I did witchcraft on people. I was drinking animal blood.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the Forbidden Feed. As usual, take these videos with a grain of salt. You decide what's true or false. Time is valuable, so I won't waste any. Let's get right into it.
Do what I do my thing, or a brand new shoe top. Kickbox, don't stand too close. I'm kickboxing, red make go, so I don't stop. I don't let me catch me, keep wishing, I turn to.
America's locked in now. Trying to lock up the Mexicans or trying to lock in the Americans?
Speed up Post Malone, it sounds just like Justin Bieber.
I'm on it, they will never fall. She said it on a watch out, oh watch out, oh watch out, yeah. I ain't rich yet, but you know I ain't broke. My homies pull up on your block, they make that thing go grata-ta-ta.
This reminds me of like that black cube when all the people are walking around, or like when the animals start walking around.
Have you heard of these lions that live on an island in Africa?
Okay.
The Okavango River.
Okay.
So it's this giant river, right? Something happened to where the river like split and did something, and it basically entrapped this giant island where these lions live. So they're basically cut off from their food sources. But the only thing that they could hunt, the Cape water buffalo, their nicknames are Black Death because they're so dangerous. 2 times bigger than a lion.
Jeez.
And they're just so powerful. They usually kill lions, so lions usually avoid attacking them.
So really aggressive.
Yeah, but they had no other choice.
Yeah.
So they would start killing these Cape water buffalo, and they literally evolved into these giant lions, double the size of normal African lions.
Golly.
The female lions are even like the same size as the male lions.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
huge. They just like, they had no other choice, so they like evolved to become bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
Like its shoulders are like boom.
Jeez.
That's
Huge.
wild.
Terrifying.
Are you prepared to stand here all night if we decide to stay?
I guess, yeah.
All right, well, you just stay right there then. You just stay and stay.
Why aren't you letting us go to that desk like we were able to do last year?
He's not a U.S. employee.
This is a public institution.
Did Elon Musk hire you?
Who do you work for?
Who do you work for?
Are you not aware of? Are you even allowed to?
I'm a federal employee working for the education.
We want in.
Tell them what it says on the door.
All access entry.
What's that pin that guy
Called
has?
the police on us.
Tell them what it says on the door.
Half of your children with disabilities, for young women who have been victims.
I nominate Linda McMahon to be the Education Department Secretary if you're going to get rid of the Education Department.
Because I told Linda, I hope you do a great job and put yourself out of a job. I want her to put herself out of a job. Education Department. So we're ranked number 40 out of 40 schools, right? We're ranked number 1 in cost per pupil. So we spend more per pupil than any other country in the world. And we're ranked at the bottom of the list. We're ranked very badly. And what I want to do is let the states run schools. I believe strongly in school choice. But in addition to that, I want the states to run schools.
Trump is a criminal. Not because of Trump, keep me here. Fuck Trump. Fuck Trump. Fuck Trump. Fuck Trump.
They told me I'm from hot. Like I told her that she was shot. I'm in this. And the city 12 and you drop, nigga. And we keep them all billions on our block, nigga.
Did someone capture this video of Paul Walker in between this supposed deadly car crash and going into hiding?
Well, it wasn't even me. It was some other dude. They thought it was me. No, this is, now you're playing with me. Oh, I swear to God. You swear? Okay. They thought it was me and it wasn't even me.
Now, what's interesting to me is not too long after that car crash, a certain person came onto the scene and all of a sudden started directing movies. A certain person by the name of Tim Ballard. Maybe you've heard of him. He directed The Sound of Freedom. And he resembles someone an awful lot.
Okay.
So much so that you barely realize there are two different faces there. And while you can change some things easily, like a beard and even the color of the eyes, and even haircuts and nose and ear size can be manipulated, sometimes there's just too many things to catch them all. Especially those pesky little birthmarks. To there, and to there, and to there,
I'm not seeing it.
and to there. And let's see if there's another pair. Oh, those look interesting. Let's see what we find over here. Oh, interesting. But so their faces are symmetrical and they share the exact locations of 6 different birthmarks. It's not like they have the same mannerisms or anything.
I learned a lot about women. I think I learned exactly how the fall of man occurred in the Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, and Adam said one day, wow, Eve, here we are at one with nature, at one with God. We'll never age, we'll never die. And all our dreams come true the instant that we have them. And Eve said, yeah, it's just not enough, is it?
No, that's not funny.
I was just waiting for more.
Well, that was kind of his point.
No ice around any of these areas, okay? There's North America, South America, Africa, India, Russia, China. Okay, so very similar to this map. North America, South America, Africa, India, China, Russia, okay? Only thing different, Australia. There is no Australia here because it hasn't been discovered yet. This is 1587. Australia wasn't discovered until 1606. So that's why that's not there. But my main question is, if this is a globe flattened out and this is on the bottom, right? What the fuck is this? There's no ice on it. And guess what? Antarctica hadn't been discovered yet. Antarctica was discovered in 1820. And if you look, oh look, there's an alligator, there's a camel, warm weather animals. So, you want to explain to me, first thing, what the hell is this, all this land? And second thing, what froze them? What happened between 1587 and 1892 where those areas got frozen?
Yeah, man, they're running now.
We're kind of preparing the U.S. population, at least, and by extension, the world population, into that reality that there is a presence here, and that we need to explain this presence. Because if they show up and we continue to do what we did before in previous decades, and they show up, there will be mass panic. But if you understand that these are real, and we have 5 years from 2022, well, maybe now 4 years, if they come in 2027, for the U.S. government to prepare the people about what is up there. And in many ways, I think the word got out within the government that they're showing up in 2027, and we better be prepared. And if not, there's going to be a lot of explaining to do. And so I think that dialogue has happened within, inside the government, in certain areas inside the government, that we need to prepare. And that's why in 2017, that set a clock of 10 years. And why Lou Elizondo earlier in this year said, just find a hobby for 5 years. And, it'll all be out in 5 years. And he said that this year. So that was 2027. And I would say I've heard 2027 in a kind of an official capacity that I can't reveal. So I think I would say that people in the government are aware of something happening, and that there's limited time, a few more years to prepare the people. And that's what's ramping up this acceleration from the previous 7 decades of not even acknowledging it to now we are acknowledging it at a faster and faster pace.
You looking at yourself crying in the mirror?
Shut the fuck up!
Oh my God.
So this building is where the devil lives. Don't believe me? It's a black building, black windows, and it's the Pfizer building. Anyway, if we look here, it would look like it's inhabited all the way up, but it's actually only inhabited to about here. This is just a brick wall covered by a black window facade. Why? To look like it's bigger and more successful than it actually is.
About housing some homeless.
The last inhabitable floor right there. Everything else is a broken down, ugly, two-tone brick wall.
That's so strange.
Breaking news from Capitol Hill. Hayden Haynes, Chief of Staff to House Speaker Mike Johnson, was arrested last night for allegedly driving under the influence. According to reports, Haynes backed into a parked Capitol vehicle around 11:40 p.m., shortly after President Trump's address to Congress. The incident occurred just minutes after the conclusion of the president's speech, raising questions about the evening's events. Haynes has been a key figure in Johnson's office since 2017, serving as Chief of Staff and maintaining a close professional relationship.
The moment that Kanye awarded Diddy with the BET award was super weird. Like, do any of you guys remember this? Kanye came out in the space mask and said that he wanted to declare himself legally dead for over a year, but Diddy is really persistent. And this whole thing was super odd to me because right before this, Kanye was spilling all the tea about Diddy. I mean, I'm sure you guys remember when Kanye was constantly calling Diddy an op. He even explained how Diddy texted him after he went on the rant, basically telling him he needed to shut his mouth. And he explained how Diddy has even unalived people. And he said he basically made a deal so he would stay out of trouble with any of this. And he had to pull on Kanye's coattail. And we know that Kanye's rant was all these artists are not making the money that they deserve. So Kanye coming on the BET Awards and giving this really awkward speech to Diddy after he exposed all of this was a super weird time. I'm going to go ahead and roll you guys this clip so you can see how awkward this moment was. And you guys let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
I took a little hiatus. I said I want to just like declare myself legally dead for a year. nobody messing me. You know, just like I just want to be off the grid and, you know, Puff is pretty persistent. But I had to think, bro, it's like people, they get amnesia. Like, I should never have Puff have to ever call more than one time. Any of us in this room, if Puff ever need us, we need to jump and be there. This man has been through and survived a lot of stuff. I know how it is to want to change your name, you know? You might know him as Diddy, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs. But when that gas is hitting a certain point, I thought, like, at the end of all of it, all we have is love.
What is going on here?
Animals look without fur. Bear. Owl.
Just had an owl outside my house last night.
Squirrel. Raccoon. Husky. Hamster. Penguin.
I was a devil worshiper. I was the third high-ranked devil worshiper in New York City. I ran regions. I did witchcraft on people. I was drinking animal blood. I was cutting myself, drinking my blood. I was staying all night doing rituals, demonic rituals. I was living a crazy witchcraft, like astral projecting, cursing neighbor, cursing region. That's the life. I came out of my building one afternoon. There was a group of people that was standing in the corner, and I was like, where that lousy music is coming from? So I went over there, and I was half demon possessed. Go over there to attack them. When I went over to attack them, they had like this wall of fire around them, and what they had was, at the time I didn't know, but today I know, the Holy Spirit pushed me back. And it pushed me back. I couldn't believe the strength that pushed me back spiritually. And I started almost to cry. I couldn't believe. For the first time, I felt my heart was a human. I felt like something grabbed me. I couldn't shake it off. So what I had, the powers that I had for 25 years, couldn't penetrate who these young people were. And they were singing gospel. They were giving testimony, and they were sharing the word. That's what they were doing. And that, it was enough to push me back and put me in my place. I've been saved for now 17 years now. And the enemy, the devil, capitalized on people. Fear. Fear paralyzes you. Fear controls you. Fear owns you if you let it. But you know, you can be an overcomer. You can break out of that shell. You can break out of those shackles by for me, trusting God, trusting Jesus Christ in your life. I mean, I walk without fear today. I walk with a certainty in my life that I know that God holds my tomorrows. Fear not, that God is with me.
I'm not going back again. I got my toes in the water, ass in the sand. Not a worry in the world, a cold beer in my hand. Life is good today. Life is good today.
Good moonshine.
Diddy and Biggie were a little too close.
I look at him like, I say Jesus.
And next question is...
Love you,
The fuck was that? But eventually, Biggie got tired of whatever that was.
At first we were friends, then became lovers. You was more than my girl, we was like brothers. All night we would play fight undercovers. Now you gone, can't love you like...
Use your common sense. Don't forget the blogs. Forget how you feel about me. Hate me if you want to, love me if you want, but just use your common sense. How stupid would it be for me to, with my crazy past and what I've been through, right now I just think I need to be a monster and hold girls against their will, chain them up in my basement, and don't let them eat and don't let them out unless they need some shoes down the street from their uncle. Stop it. Y'all quit playing. Quit playing. I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I got out 30 years of my career.
Robert.
30 years of my career.
You guys think Jay set up R. Kelly?
Y'all trying to kill me. You're killing me, man. This is not about music. I'm trying to have a relationship with my kids, and I can't do it. Y'all just don't want to believe the truth.
People are freaking out after what they just found. Coincidence or not, this is genuinely insane. But apparently a lot of people didn't know about this until now and are freaking out. In 1889 and 1893, way over 100 years ago, did these books release? As I go through this video, it's going to get progressively crazier and crazier, so stick with me. 2 books released, The Marvelous Adventures of Baron Trump and the second book called The Last President. Essentially a series of books following this guy, Baron Trump. In the book there's loads of characters, 2 main ones, a guy named Pence and his father figure that takes him on his journey called Don. In the books, Don and Baron are going through these portals and traveling through time to various locations on these adventures, until the Last President book where Don becomes president on 5th Avenue, and all kinds of crazy stuff follows from that point onwards. But also when you look at Baron Trump from the front cover of the book, a lot of people have been saying they see the similarities between the Baron Trump we know, which is pretty mental. Now, what else was happening around this time period aside from the books? Well, this guy, Nikola Tesla, who was trying to essentially invent time travel. Some of his inventions were pretty insane, and a lot of it was kind of hidden away. After his passing, some high officials were basically asked, well, look over this documentation. Was it real? Was it fake? Everybody kind of gave their input, and one person threw them away and went, yeah, it's fake. And that person was Donald Trump's uncle.
A large working city operating deep underground as we go about our lives on the surface above.
What?
It's real, and it's right here in the United States.
Subtropolis.
Decades ago, limestone was mined here for concrete and asphalt. What's left is space. A lot of space.
Okay, so what's down here right now? We have 6 million square feet of buildings leased to 55 companies. There's 1,700 employees that run around here and go to work every day.
It's a massive industrial park, all underground.
Do you ever worry, like the world could come to an end upstairs, and you guys would just be down here toiling away, right? I feel like Fort Knox there.
Security is a big selling point. Subtropolis is basically disaster-proof. Another selling point? Subtropolis is always 65 degrees. Always. What better place, then, to put a room full of computer servers? There's a lot of cool stuff in Subtropolis, especially in a company called Underground Vaults and Storage.
What are you going to show us? We're going to show you Hollywood right behind these doors.
Inside, aisle upon aisle of TV and movie treasures sent here by the studios for safekeeping. From the National Archives to food distributor Harris Brothers, the occupants of Subtropolis praise the predictability of doing business in a place where the sun never shines nor sets.
My pimp put me on an order to go to the Getty, Los Angeles, California Museum. I was told I was going to walk through a field trip. I was taken with another girl. I call a friend of mine, and we were put in dresses and sandals. We were taken in a sports car. We're not taken in a sports car. We pulled up to the museum in a sports car. We were told that we were trying to give a different appearance. So we were walking through, I remember walking through kids. I remember walking in and seeing school buses. I remember walking in and seeing children and chaperones through the museum. And I remember people staring at us as if it was as if we were somebody special. We walked through the museum. There are, employees that know exactly what's going on in the museum. They block the doors. They know where the entrances and exits are.
What would happen if an entire city of people was constantly bombarded by sonic booms flying overhead? That's what the US government wanted to know, and in the 1960s they started Project Bongo, where they started flying supersonic jets over the top of Oklahoma City just to see what would happen. They did more than 1,200 of these flights where they observed the psychological impacts without really telling anybody. At first residents thought it was really weird, but then just learned to deal. The jets flew by so regularly that some workers knew when it was break time. It's also how the city's pro basketball team got their name, the Thunder. I learned about all this, plus a bunch of other really weird stuff about Oklahoma City in Sam Anderson's book, Boomtown.
4 signs prove that today's Kanye West is a replacement. Kanye mysteriously vanished after making offensive remarks at the end of 2022. When he reappeared in the public eye months later, people noticed he seemed like a different person. First,
how many Kanyes you guys think there's been? Put your guess down in the chat. I'm going to go with 6. I think 6. 6 is probably a good number.
Kanye's height has increased. His official height is 173 centimeters, which is the same as his current wife Bianca's. However, photos of the two together show that Kanye is noticeably taller than his wife, even without shoes. Secondly, his facial features have changed, with noticeable differences in his nose and ears. From 2 comparison photos, it's clear that Kanye's skull shape appears significantly higher after his return. The previous Kanye looked vibrant, but now he appears quite disheveled.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Moreover, observant fans have noticed changes in the tattoos on Kanye's body. Thirdly, Kanye has had conflicts with Balenciaga, yet some netizens spotted him shopping at Balenciaga with his new wife, which is quite unbelievable. Finally, it is well known that Kanye has a passion for shoes, which led him to collaborate with Adidas to launch Yeezy. However, the current Kanye is often seen going out barefoot. Moreover, Kanye once said, "If I ever disappear and come back, that's not me." All these contrasting changes have led people to suspect that he has been replaced. What are your thoughts on this situation?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
They do kind of look alike.
Stop it. Get some help.
It still boggles the mind to look
What
at it.
the
It may
heck?
look just like a scene from a disaster movie, but this is real. This video captured today when the ocean caught fire in the Gulf of Mexico just west of the Yucatan Peninsula. Those dramatic
looks
images
fake.
of the ocean aflame quickly going viral on social media. Some people calling it an eye of fire, while others said it looked like the portal to hell opening up. Pemex, the Mexican state-run oil company, says an underground natural gas pipeline sprung a leak that caused that mid-ocean fire. A number of firefighting boats pumped water onto the fire for nearly 5 hours until it was eventually extinguished and put out a fire on the ocean. An oil platform nearby not down. Wow. Wow.
That's one of the, wow, that is fun.
Aún no se sabe si es real o fake esta imagen. Lo que sí es muy sorprendente. ¿Algún volcán submarino? ¿Qué piensan? ¿Qué opinan? Deja tu comentario.
Now what are we looking at? What the heck's going on there? It's like ships in the shapes of clouds? What the heck's going on?
Watch this right here and tell me if this doesn't blow your mind. That's a human hair right there. This is the Apple CPU, the little chip that's in your phone or your computer. Yeah, watch it and tell me this is not fallen angel technology. I don't know what to say. Because nobody can make something like this. Not even a laser can shoot down that far and create something like this. Yep, just keep watching. We're going way deep. Oh yeah, we're not done yet. It goes further.
Wow.
Yep. And we hit the bottom, finally.
That's wild.
This is just, it blows my mind. I can't even fathom it. I can't understand it. But that's exactly what fallen angel technology does. You can't even imagine. You can't imagine it. Can't create it. Yeah.
Family, you see this complicated carving? It's an important piece of history and a small part of a huge underground city. We have been taught that the world used to look like this 200 years ago. And look at this, family, not even 100 years later, it looked like this. But you know what, family? If you dig deep enough in the books, you will find the evidence. Look at this, family. This is a tunnel system that leads to a huge underground city in England, Liverpool. And most of the underground railroad systems that you see right now, they have already been used for maybe hundreds and hundreds of years. A fact is, family, that it's impossible that an area goes from this to this in not even 100 years. Or like this, 100 years ago. Family, look at the video. And family, look at this. This is a huge underground city in Turkey.
I'm not sure what year this car is, but it's an old Ford. And probably in the 40s model. If you look at the front logo, you see the new logo from this new reality. But weird thing, if you walk around to the back and look at the back logo on the bumper, look at that. That's
Mandela.
The residual reality from the old Ford logo. Notice, no hooky, no pigtail.
The elites have underground cities and tunnels all around the world. Watch this.
We actually found it. I didn't think we'd find this cave, but here it is.
These are all around the world, y'all. We're moving in secret right beneath our feet.
I know, who built it?
Exactly, who built that?
Yeah. No way. Alright, so we have a choice to either keep going on this level or to go up. Or to start to go up. Whoever made this staircase knew what they were doing. Yeah. Dude, this is an elevator. Holy crap.
What the hell?
Dude, it sounds like there's power to it or something. What?
Stay weird, y'all. What do you think they're using these secret tunnels for? Y'all let me know in the comments, and as always, stay weird.
Already doing kung fu. Oh man, I heard about this. Apparently the army's recruiting like everybody, even like people with Down syndrome and like just everyone, and just like apprehending them off the streets, I guess.
Her name is Marina Abramovic. She does something called spirit cooking. Elites essentially come and eat around the bodies and the heads of people in some weird ritualistic manner. Here's her with Jared Leto.
Of course.
Here's her with Lady Gaga.
Wait, what?
Engaging in spirit cooking. She's done art installations where you like walk over it and people underneath the installation.
Reminds me like a PG conspiracy theorist channel or something. It gets so much worse than that. They're into like some devil worshipping and spirit cooking and just really weird, nasty stuff. I don't know. Go check it out. Check out her very first art exhibit that she did. There was like, basically she went and got naked and stood there in front of a bunch of random people. There was a table laid out with all sorts of different tools and torture devices that people could use. It got to the point where somebody had put a loaded gun to her head and wrapped her finger around the trigger. And then that's when people thought that the exhibit had gone too far. But before that, people were like slapping her and like using some of these objects. Very strange. That's just one of her exhibits too. She's done stuff with Jay-Z and Beyonce and Lady Gaga and Jared Leto and all these people. It's very strange. Very, very strange. Go look into it.
The ceremony?
Yeah.
In front of you?
Yeah, in front of all of us. He started screaming when they began to cut. But after a while, you know, he died. I'd seen a few killings before then.
Let me get this right now. Are you saying that you saw more than one person killed in that house?
Yeah. I've seen loads of babies killed there. Just newborn babies. Or aborted ones, which were only small. You know, 4-year-olds. Any age, really.
What little girl?
My little girl, Alex. She's about 4 now.
You mean you had a child?
Yeah,
How old were you when you had that child?
11.
Motherhood at the age of 11. But from what Teresa told her mother, it wasn't the only pregnancy.
What would happen to the fetuses, the unborn babies?
I used to be taken away most of the time, and one time baby was taken out of me and then killed in front of me. But we were also made to eat it.
You were made to eat your own fetus?
Yeah.
How did they get
Just gonna need a trigger warning on this
I had
one.
a tub.
Jesus.
You know, pretty big, I don't know. A very big tub, and they used to put the bodies and bones in there. And it used to go like, you know, fizzy and that.
Do you know the history of why they drive on the left side of the road? How it started, because everyone in the whole world was on the left side since
the Romans. So the Romans, they would ride on the left side of the road because the dominant hand was the right hand. And so that would be, you could take your sword out and joust
your neighbor,
get the guy that's riding this way. And then someone came along.
Oh no, who was it?
I want for us to ride on the right side of the road.
Left side? I don't like it.
And his name was Napoleon.
No!
Really?
He was left-handed. Yeah, on out, right side of the road, because works for me better. And so for even England was right side of the road. And they didn't convert back into the left side of the road until like, it was like 1883 or something.
Oh my gosh.
Why do you convert back?
Because they were basically like, they hated Napoleon so much.
Oh, so it's just trying to cut
like, wait, why are we doing this? And so they're like, oh, we're going back to the left hand, or yeah, the left hand.
So they're just being stubborn at that point. It's like,
Yeah.
we're to show you.
China's manufacturing is way more insane than people realize. China's #1 in trade, #1 in steel, #1 in shipbuilding, and #1 in high-speed rail. Also, they're leading in robotics, and they have fully automated factories. They're now #1 on car exports, which was not the case 5 years ago. If you go to developing countries, you will see a shocking number of Chinese cars on the road. A lot of people assume China just makes cheap stuff, but that is not the case. I mean, look at their drone shows. Pretty much all drones are made in China too. They have the vast majority of rare earth metals, and they're the leading producer of 33 elements. China leads in nuclear power, and they're planning 150 new reactors in the next 15 years. Then there's semiconductors, batteries, and solar. And surprisingly, only 16% of China's exports go to the United States. China's basically the world's factory.
The Panama Canal is much more epic than you think, and there's a reason the US wants to take it back. Normally, if you ever wanted to go from the Atlantic to the Pacific Ocean, you would have to go all the way around South America like this, which can literally take up to 2 months. But the US wanted a shortcut by cutting through the thinnest part of land right through the other side that would save them billions of dollars and months of time. This thinnest part happened to be in Panama, which was part of Colombia at the time, who wanted nothing to do with the US. So Colombia let the French build this shortcut in 1882, who failed miserably due to disease and other factors, and the project went bankrupt. America saw this and determined that Panama needed some good old freedom, so they intervened and helped Panama gain its independence in 1903. In return, Panama gave the US this tiny strip of land that happened to be exactly where the canal was being built. In 1904, America buys the failed Panama Canal project from the French for $40 million and finishes it 10 years later in 1914. But it was kind of worth it. Not only did it cut months of travel time down to about 8 hours, generated billions of dollars in revenue, but also ended up being crucial for military operations in the Navy. So what happened? How did the US lose control of such a critical asset? Well, first you need to realize the Panama Canal sure ain't no hole-in-the-ground tunnel that just connects the two oceans. The engineering that went into this is on par with one of the greatest achievements in all of humanity. So the sea level on the Pacific side is actually about 20 centimeters higher than on the Atlantic side for various complex scientific reasons. Not to mention the water level of lakes and rivers on land is much higher than the oceans too. In order to get ships across, the Panama Canal uses a series of locks and water chambers that slowly fill up and bring the passing ship up to the water level of the artificial lake on land. It passes through the man-made lake and does the same thing in reverse on the other side to bring it back down to the other ocean. Boom boom bop, easy does it, right? Well, not so much, because in 1977, the Torrijos-Carter treaties promised Panama would regain full control of the canal by the end of 1999, which it did. So Panama now owns full control of the canal, which generates billions and billions of dollars a year in revenue. And you know who loves billions and billions of dollars? This guy right here, who realized what a grave mistake it was to give it up and now kinda wants it back.
So that's another video. What do you guys think? Is Donnie going to come after the Panama Canal? He's going after the Gulf of Mexico. He's coming after Canada. He wants Greenland or Iceland. I can't remember which one. His sidekick Elon's going after Mars. They're trying to jump on the moon now with the blue something rover or something like that. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, share, and all that good stuff. I'll see you in the next one.